20 weird history facts you wouldn't believe are real. What's the strangest thing you've ever learned about history? Was it something about peculiar medieval habits, unbelievable wars, or maybe an unusual invention? Well, get ready because today we're diving into 20 weird history facts you wouldn't believe are real. From Napoleon being attacked by rabbits to a country literally losing a war, to birds, we've lined up the strangest and most bizarre trivia history has to offer. These tales are sure to make you question reality, laugh a little, and even feel grateful you weren't around during some of these awkward moments in history. So, buckle up for a ride back in time that is anything but ordinary. And if you love uncovering weird history, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Lexopedia before the video ends. Now let's get into it. Imagine assembling an army and losing to birds. That's exactly what happened to Australia during the Great Emu War of 1932. Farmers struggling with emu overpopulation called in reinforcements, the military. But these clever birds outran the soldiers and dodged machine gun fire, leaving Australia utterly defeated. Yep, emus, 1 humans, 0. Next, we visit Napoleon Bonaparte, a man feared worldwide, unless you were a rabbit. During a celebratory hunt, Napoleon's men released hundreds of rabbits to be hunted. But instead of running, the bunnies charged him. The emperor fled under an onslaught of furry attackers. Somehow, that's not the legacy he's remembered for. Fast forward to World War II, where British Prime Minister Winston Churchill approved a bizarre plan: bomb-carrying bats. These bats were fitted with explosives meant to ignite Japanese buildings. However, the bats panicked in testing and caused chaos at the military base instead. Needless to say, this plan went up in flames, literally. Did you know Pope Gregory IV declared war on cats? In the 9th century, the Pope believed cats were satanic and ordered their extermination. Unfortunately, fewer cats meant a rise in rats, leading to worse plagues. Irony strikes again. Meanwhile, in ancient Greece, punishments weren't limited to humans. If an object caused harm, say a statue fallen on someone, it could face trial and even exile. Strange justice, huh? Even food utensils weren't safe from controversy. Forks introduced in medieval Europe infuriated the church. Imagine dining scandalous enough to spark outrage. Speaking of creative outlets, Cleopatra wasn't just famous for her beauty and ruling skills. The queen reportedly mixed honey with other substances for everything, from beauty treatments to distractions for would-be assassins. Talk about multifunctional. Jumping to Victorian England, mourning had its own bizarre rituals. Post-mortem photography became popular, where families posed for photos with recently deceased loved ones. They wanted to preserve memories, even if it meant propping up a corpse for one final family portrait. And Romans were nothing if not inventive. Their dental hygiene? Well, it involved using powdered mouse brains for toothpaste. While this innovation didn't exactly stand the test of time, it's a testament to how far we've come in oral care. History isn't just about achievements, it's also about failures. Take Sweden, for instance. In the 18th century, Swedish military leaders decided to train moose as cavalry animals. Unfortunately, the moose had no interest in obeying commands and were easily spooked. The plan failed spectacularly, proving that some ideas are better on paper. Ever heard of the dancing mania of the Middle Ages? This mysterious phenomenon caused groups of people to dance uncontrollably, sometimes for days, leading to injury and even death. Historians still debate why this happened, but mass hysteria seems a plausible explanation. And how about King Charles II of England? He was so paranoid about his wigs getting stolen that he devised elaborate security measures, including construction of secret compartments just for his hairpieces. Protecting one's style was clearly serious business back then. Not all strange events resulted in failure, though. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union developed a jaw-dropping plan: giant space mirrors to light up their cities during long, dark winters. While this ambitious project never fully launched, it reflected humanity's never-ending quest to innovate, even if the ideas are a little out there. Then there's the story of Albert Einstein. After his death, Einstein's brain was removed without permission by a pathologist who kept it in jars. The brain was studied for years, traveling across labs and universities. Imagine being posthumously famous for your brain's road trip. And here's a historical event that almost sounds festive: the Christmas Truce of WWI. In 1914, during a freezing December night, German and British soldiers stopped fighting, exited their trenches, and played a friendly game of soccer. Enemies became temporary friends, a rare, touching moment in the midst of war. Let's delve into the quirky corners of history. Did you know the ancient Babylonians invented the world's first calculator? They used cuneiform tablets for incredibly complex math, proving technology isn't only a modern invention. During the 19th century, creativity met practicality in a unique way: edible theater tickets. Yes, you could nibble on your ticket while watching the show, ensuring you didn't lose it. Even the Eiffel Tower has a strange backstory. During WW2, it played a covert role as a huge spy antenna. The tower's function went far beyond its romantic, postcard-perfect image. Historical figures are often remembered for their accomplishments, but their quirks are just as fascinating. Benjamin Franklin, for example, took what he called air baths. Essentially, he sat naked in front of his window every morning to cleanse himself with fresh air. Don't worry, this hasn't made its way into modern wellness trends. George Washington's dentures are infamous, but they weren't made of wood, as many believe. Instead, they were crafted from materials like ivory, gold, and even real human teeth. A bit gruesome, but certainly a time-appropriate solution. And let's not forget Marie Antoinette, whose hairstyles were extravagant enough to hold entire miniature ships as decorations. Her powdered coiffures were more than hair. They were statements of opulence, though not exactly practical. Some strange moments in history arose from pure misunderstanding, like the infamous tulip bubble of the 1600s, when tulips were so valuable in the Netherlands that people traded their homes for bulbs. Eventually, the market crashed, creating an early lesson in economic instability. Then there's Lieutenant Hiroo Onoda, a Japanese soldier who didn't surrender at the end of WW2 for 30 years. He hid in the Philippines, believing the war was ongoing until 1974, when his former commander had to order him to stand down. And finally, how about an entire day disappearing? When countries transitioned from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar, days were skipped to align the system. Imagine going to bed on October 4th and waking up on October 15th. What did we learn today? History isn't just about wars, kings, and monuments. It's filled with bizarre, funny, and utterly weird stories that prove truth really is stranger than fiction. From emus defeating soldiers to space mirrors and bunny ambushes, humans never cease to amaze us with their creativity, failures, and eccentricities. Which of these weird history facts blew your mind? Share your favorite in the comments. We can't wait to hear what you think. And before you go, take a second to like this video, share it with fellow history buffs, and hit that subscribe button for more fascinating stories from Lexopedia. History may be weird, but it's never boring. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep learning.